with this joint. I ain't really got an intro for this one. This is just the Loft Talk. Y'all know who I'm here with. Let them know who it is.
What's good, y'all? It's Gator. He ain't got no intro, but I do. This is for the ladies. That Rel Talk, that old school Rel song.
Said this is for the ladies. How long you been single for?
And he's really just chopping it up. Too long.
Couple years?
Yeah, it's been a little minute.
Alright. So with that being said, because I know a lot of times when we're single for a long time, right? We get into our own habits as to where when somebody new comes around, is it gonna break those habits? Is it gonna disrupt your peace? Like, how do you feel you're gonna feel when somebody actually comes back around? Do you think you're gonna have to switch your ways up? Or do you think they're gonna have to adapt to how you are in order for y'all two to, coexist with each other?
No. I dated shorty. I'm not changing none of my ways unless I feel as though like, hey, this is a way, me moving like this isn't beneficial to a relationship. It's not beneficial to the relationship that I want, that I'm building. I'll change my ways. Like when you've been single for a minute, or just in general, like, people get comfortable, get stuck in your ways. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be with somebody, like, yeah, you gotta change certain things. Because when you're comfortable, you just may do certain things that you may not even like, you may not even condone. But once you get a person, it's like, hey, I'm not just changing this way because it's wrong, because it really suited me when I was single. But like, hey, this ain't conducive to the relationship that I'm building or the person that I'm with. So yeah, like if I gotta change certain things, I will.
What if it's something that you found peace in? However, you can tell whatever that thing is, whatever that habit is that you found peace in, it would cause friction in your relationship. Would you be willing to change that? Because then that would be, in a sense, taken away from a piece of peace that you found. Whatever it may be.
Off the rip, it's a no. Like always gotta protect my peace. Like, it's peace, but like I said, it's really, if it's detrimental to my relationship, then if I find it to be detrimental, yeah, I'll change it. If she finds it detrimental, I'll look at it and it may change over time.
That deep to be detrimental. It could just be something where, so I say like this, it could be something that you found peace in. However, always know that you can still find peace in other places. So even if you found peace right here and this may not, meshing well with your new relationship, it's okay to give that up because you can find new peace, maybe inside your relationship with that person. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to, it's because peace by yourself and then peace with somebody else, or happiness, right? We say peace, but a lot of times it's interchangeable with happiness, right? So our peace that's our happy place, right? So peace by yourself or happiness by yourself is different than that within a relationship. So sometimes you have to sacrifice that single man peace or happiness if you want to be in a relationship with somebody, but you find new happiness in this new stage in life.
Yeah, that's all true. Those are great points to pull out. That was some great points. I didn't catch all of them, but to stick to the question of like, hey, would I change my ways? Yeah, if I found it to be better, I would. And if it needed to be like, yeah, I'm definitely open to trying new things, spending time with the person that I'm with. So if I'm doing something that's, taking away from the time that I could spend with them, like, yeah, I'll pause that.
At what stage do you think you would be willing to change, right? So is it like, you know what, this is serious, we might be moving in together, now let me change my ways? Or is it earlier than that where it's like, you know what, I could actually see something with this person. Y'all went on a few dates or whatever. Y'all, you know what I mean? Y'all talking on the phone all the time, whatever. You like, oh, I could really see something with this person. Like, should you start changing then, or should you wait to see if it's really what it is? Because you know things look different in the beginning than they do going down the road. In most cases.
I mean, I really don't always, personally, I just don't find myself having to change because I'm pretty solid. It would really have to be.
But that's your perspective of yourself, though.
Yeah. It's not, I'll change when, you know, I'm approached with it. So, like, in the beginning, like, yeah, I got ways, like, in the beginning of a relationship, you're trying to, like, spend time with somebody, get to know them.
But you also giving them what people call your representative, right? So they say this is not you in the beginning. This is why people say it's too good to be true, right? Because when you meet somebody, you give them that, hey, what's up? How you doing? Oh, yeah. You give them this soft representative of yourself. It's not fully yourself because you don't know them. So obviously you're not going to trust them with your whole self, right? So as time goes on, you start to really get to know the person. And then it's, you know, you get to see their true form or whatever. So it's like, even if, you know, you say you're a certain type of person in the beginning, you may not be that person throughout the whole relationship because things do die down. It is what it is. Once we get complacent and once we get, you know, things become normalized, you know, between you and somebody else, there's certain things and it's out of habit. It is what it is. Why? Because in the beginning stage, we're trying to impress somebody. So once we're done impressing them because we got them, there are things that we stop doing that we should keep doing, but in most times people stop doing it or they lessen how much they do it, right? I know guys, and I'm not saying you because I've been guilty of this before, right? I start talking to a woman, we go on a date, I'm gonna go open the door for her. You think 2 years later down the road, every time we get in the car, I'm gonna open the door for her? No, I'm not. It is what it is. I'll still open the door, but it's not gonna be as frequent as it was in the beginning.
One thing that came to my mind as you was going was continue dates. Like, yeah, later on down the line, you know, 2 years down the line, like once we together, I be having to tell, I got some young ladies around me and I tell them this, like, hey, you know, opening doors for them is more than just opening up a door. Like more than opening up a car door, more than opening up a front door. It's more than that. But one thing you should never forget is to go on dates, because after we've been together for a while, like, yeah, I'm on the same type of time as you. I'm not constantly opening up other doors, but we're gonna go on these dates, and I'm always gonna show like, yo, I'm still that same person, you know. In dates,
you lessen. I feel like people lessen the date. So like, you know, say I'm talking to somebody. Listen. Say I'm talking to somebody right now, right? And I'm trying to get to know her. Let's say, you know, within the first 3 months, we might go on like, let's say 5 or 6 dates, right? In the first 3 months or whatever. After we become normalized with each other, right, and comfortable around each other, we might go on a date once a month. If time, you know, allows, because now your schedules are interchangeable, right? So it's like, okay, she's going to work, you going to work, your schedules may match up, may not match up, but they're intertwined with each other, right? So it's like, now you got to find time to, you know, because your whole lives is together now. They may have kids or whatever the case is, you got to fit all of that in. So now it goes from...
That's the same as the beginning stages, you know, that's the same as the beginning stage. In the beginning stages, I got to find time. There's no difference between the beginning stages and the later stages of finding time. It's the want to find time. Like, hey, in the later stages, like, yeah, y'all more entwined. There's more things happening, but it's happening together. You know, y'all on the same type of time now. Y'all was on the same type of time in the beginning of where it's, hey, I want to see this person. I'm trying to do this date. You just got to make the time, make that date, and when you on that later time dates, you gotta let that person know, like, hey, I'm still the same me. I still want you. I still want to open up these doors for you.
Now, I get it. I agree. I just think there's a reality there that's not the reality, right? Where I understand what you're saying, like you gotta want to do that, and even if you want to do that, you know, it's you play basketball, and I don't play basketball, so excuse me if this analogy is off a little bit, right? You catch a fast break, right? You got the ball, you're going to the hoop, fast break. What do you do when you start to get to the hoop that you're about to score on? You slow your steps down, right? Because you're not gonna keep going fast. No, you're gonna slow your steps down so that way you get that layup right or that dunk right. You gotta slow them down to that one boom boom. But when you was before that half court, you full speed, boom. You coming down the court like this. So in the beginning stages, when you talking to somebody, you're doing this, that, and the third, blah blah blah. Once you about to reach that goal, when you reach that goal, it's inevitable that you're going to slow down. You could even want to do dates like you wanted to in the beginning, but it's inevitable that you're going to slow down because you reach that goal, bro. Anybody who reached the goal, even if you have multiple goals to reach, once you reach your goal, you slow down and then you map out the next goal. But you don't go at everything at the same pace. Everything in life is not like that, bro.
There is times in the game when you slow down. But life does keep going. Like
not at the same pace. That's what I'm saying.
It keeps going, and it keeps going. Not the same place. There is times in the game where you slow down, but that fast break that you were just mentioning, you ain't got to slow down no more. You just got to have a soft touch. Like so, say you like y'all. It's later on down in the relationship. Even early in the relationship. Early in the relationship, you got your life. We got our lives. Shorty got her life. We got to make time to come together and make a date for one another. But our individual lives is still going. We just spending a moment together. When it's later on in the relationship, our lives are intertwined together. Our lives are still going. We just taking a time. We just softening our touch together. And I say that because D Rose my favorite player. D Rose fast break is... It ain't no slowdown. Like you can't catch him on that expected 2-step at the rim. No, like he goes at the rim 100 miles an hour, but he got the softest touch though. Like his layup is the softest touch. Like
okay, so let's widen the analogy now because you said everybody got their individual lives, but y'all making time for each other. So let's say that fast break is a 2-man, right? You coming down the court. Me and you coming down the court, fast break, right? Because we got a defender here, which is life, right? So we have to basically sync our speeds so that way if I gotta lob it to you or whatever, or figure out how I'm gonna get it to you and fake like I'm about to, you know what I mean, go up for the layup because we got a defender right there, we have to be in sync. So we have to figure out how we can get at the same pace. So life itself is like this. But when you start adding in everything else, now y'all two, right? Because before it was an individual. If you want that fast break by yourself, like you said, you don't have to slow down or whatever. You just gotta have the right touch, but you by yourself. But now you with somebody else. So now you gotta figure out how to sync with them in order for the play to go through and still have that soft touch or whatever the case is. One person can't be going super fast, another person going slow. It's not gonna work. Y'all gotta come and y'all gotta meet at the hoop at the same pace.
Nah, not necessarily. Like, my shorty could be a shooter, and I could be somebody attacking the rim.
Y'all still gotta sync up though. However you want to do it.
That's conversation. That's done in the huddle. That's done before we. That's done.
Not when it's on the fly. Not if somebody stole the ball and y'all coming down and y'all. You get what I'm saying?
Like on the fly, we got.
When I say somebody
respect each other's
when I say somebody stole the ball, right? So we don't get off track, so y'all understand what I'm saying. When I say somebody stole the ball, meaning you met this person and you ain't expect to meet them, right? You ain't expect to meet this person at this stage in life, but y'all met. And so now y'all coming down, bro, you got to figure out on the fly. It ain't like, everything is an arranged marriage or date. Nah, life don't work like that. You just meet somebody, it could be the grocery store, whatever the case is, but you still, got to figure out how to make both of y'all lives, y'all got to be moving at the same pace.
Dang, I live my life on the fly. And, in that sense, I go off of what I read. Like, I'm a man that's immediately going to take the lead. If I That's who I am. That's who I am. Like, I immediately take the lead. If I don't feel as though I can take the lead, I usually don't even approach a shorty. Like, if I don't feel like if I'm not a lead, I usually don't approach.
But that's our role, though.
Yeah, so I roll to lead. So yeah, I immediately lead. But after I'm done leading, I conversate. I'll be like, hey, I did this on the fly because I feel as though it need to be done. I see her perspective on it. I get her thoughts on, like, how she felt about it. Anything that she may have. I just talk to her about it. May want it to be improved, or just her overall thoughts. Like, I tell her what I did. I tell her why I did it. And, I want to get her 100% thoughts on it.
So just to wind it back to what we're saying, right? You feel like who a person is in the beginning and how they move in the beginning, the pace that they moving at, they can remain that throughout the relationship. They don't have to change. Like I said, I think people give like a representation of themselves because it's not fully themselves. But you feel like you just gotta want however you was moving in the beginning, you can continuously move like that. It's just all about, do you want to continue to move like that? Just so I could
not
get
to
clarity.
Continuously move like that. I want to continue to move with the person that I'm with, like having my own intentions on my own life, on things that I want to do, have my own interests, things that I like to do. Like, yeah, I want to continue to move with the person. So yeah, if I find peace in some things, if we building something, I find peace in something that might be, I'm saying detrimental, but if it's a distraction to what we trying to build together, then, like, yeah, I'll put it on pause or whatever. I'll slow down on doing it. In life, things just, we could be wanting a family, build children. That is something that can take away from what I may like to do. But eventually them children gonna grow up and I'm gonna have my time back. Or if, like, man, I'm actually getting into bicycling. So if I find a shorty or that, like, if I find a shorty that's into biking and we got a biking event and I got to train for it, but yet I got something else that I find peace in, I'm gonna have to put my peace on pause and get to the goal in which we set. I'll find other ways to either get back to that peace somehow, some way, but I'm not gonna let that peace overtake what I'm trying to build.
So if you said so you're into biking and stuff like that, right? So let's just say every Sunday you go for a bike ride for a couple miles. That's your peace. That's how you reset and motivate yourself for the week. Every Sunday you go on this bike ride, midday, couple hours. Now you starting to talk to a woman, you like her, y'all getting kind of deep, it's getting serious or whatever. Her schedule now is only allowing time on that Sunday for y'all to, like, hang out and stuff like that. So now that thing that you found peace in, you're gonna have to, like, put to the side and stuff like that. Would that deter you from wanting to get to know her more? Because that thing that you use to reset your week or motivate your week, you can't necessarily do when you normally do it.
I ain't gonna hold you. That would suck. But most females I talk to would be interested in coming on a bike ride with me. Like, yo, we gonna take this bike ride. It ain't gonna be as long as if it was I'm by myself. I'm gonna have to dumb it down a little bit, but also for my own peace, I could bike ride to where we dating at. I could bike ride from after our date. I still gotta, get my peace in where I can.
So you just find a way to maneuver it around.
Yeah, I gotta maneuver around for my own peace. Yeah, I maneuver around. Like, I gotta maintain my peace. I gotta protect my own peace. But I definitely gotta respect my relationship and respect what I want. Respect what I want.
Yeah, I get it.
Respect what I want.
So let me ask y'all, what do y'all think? Are you willing to give up your single personal peace for a situation or relationship that is starting to bloom and blossom, right? That can come with its own peace, but you would have to probably give up some peace that you've built yourself, that you created yourself for the life that you're in now, but you're transitioning to this new stage. Are you willing to give up that single piece, or are you going to have to figure something out with this new relationship? Just let me know down in the comments. Y'all already know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. It's your boy, man. It's the Love Talk, man.
Peace.